example number 2. Suppose we have now negative 5x plus 3y plus z equals negative 15. And 10x plus 2y plus 8z is equal to 18. 15x plus 5y plus 7z is equal to 9. You could either pause the video right now and try to solve it, or you could rewind back to look at the past example, which will help you tackle this problem. Okay? Okay, so now we're going to try to solve this one. Again, like before, let's take the first and the second equation, and as I scan through, you know what? It's totally up to you, but, well, I feel like solving for x this time. So, I'm going to write the first equation and the second equation, and this time I'm going to eliminate the x's. So the common factor between the negative 5 and a 10 is a 10x, greatest common factor. So since this is already a 10, I'm going to leave this the way it is, the second equation that is. But I want the second one to become the opposite, negative 10x, so that when I take the difference, it will cancel out. But how does negative 5x become a negative 10? Well, you have to multiply 2. As a result, 2 times negative 5x is negative 10x. 2 times positive 3y becomes positive 6y. 2 times z becomes 2z. And 2 times negative 15 is negative 30. Now, when I combine the two equations together, negative 10x, positive 10x, they zero out. So what remains is 6y and 2y is 8y. 2z and 8z is 10z. And negative 30 and 18, they combine to become negative 12. And I will save this equation. Now I'm going to take the second and the third equations. And again, I have no choice. I have to cancel out the x's because that's what I did for the first two. So now we have a little dilemma. Now it turns out the common factor between 10 and 15, I guess it's going to be 30. And I want this to become 30x, then I want the second one to become negative 30x, so that when I take the difference of it, they will cancel out. But how does 10x become a 30x? Well, you have to multiply the entire equation by 3. And as a result, 3 times 10x is 30x. 3 times 2y is positive 6y. 3 times 8z becomes positive 24z. And 3 times 18 is going to be 54. And now, how does 15x become negative 30x? Well, you have to multiply to the entire equation by negative 2. Because negative 2 times 15 is negative 30. As a result, negative 2 times positive 5, y is negative 10y. Negative 2 times positive 7z is negative 14z. And that equals negative 2 times positive 9, which is negative 18. So when I take the difference of the two equations, the x's cancel out. Which leaves me with 6y and negative 10y is negative 4y. 24z, take out 14z, you get positive 10z. And that equals, if you have in the bank $54 and take out $18, well, that's going to leave you only $36 remaining. So here's my second equation. So now I'm going to take this two equations, take these two, and now I'm going to solve it like the regular systems of linear equations that we have done in the past in Algebra 1. Look at this. This is interesting. Their 10 z's are identical. So to cancel them out, all I have to do is make one of them into a negative. So why don't I keep the original first one and make the second one into a negative by multiplying a -1 to all the equations. As a result, -1 times -4y is positive 4y. -1 times 10z is negative 10z. And -1 times positive 36 becomes negative 36. So when I take the difference of that, the z's cancel out. 8y and 4y becomes 12y. If you borrow $12 from the bank and borrow $36 more from the bank, you're going to owe the bank a lot of money. In this case, it'll be -48, your bank balance. Now, if you solve for y by dividing the coefficient 12 to both sides of the equation, well, 12 goes into 48 4 times, and it should be negative. I found the y. Now, how do you find the other variables? Well, you could either plug into the first or second of the second step. What do you think where I'm gonna plug it in? Yeah, I'm gonna plug it in to this one. So it becomes 8 times -4 plus 10z is equal to -12. 8 and 4 negative is -32 plus 10z is equal to -12. Add 32 to both sides of the equation. So you got 10z is equal to 20. Divide the coefficient 10 to both sides. So z is equal to 2. I have my y, I have my z. All I need is the x. To find the x, now I take and go back to the original. And I would like to plug in to the first equation. So we got -5x plus 3y, but y is -4 from here. Plus z, this z, but that z is coming from that one. And that equals -15. So when I evaluate, I get -5x minus 3 times -4 is -12 plus 2 equals -15. Combine the two, so I got -5x minus 10 is equal to -15. Add 10 to both sides, and this answer comes out to be very pretty. Divide the -5 to both sides of the equations. X equals 1. So the solution set for these three equations, which makes it all true, will be x, y, z, and they are given as 1, -4, and 2. There you have it.